Hey everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another layout for the Therm web design team, and today I am going to show you how I made this mixed media layout. I started with a cut file, which is a free cut file by Paper Issues, and cut it out on my electronic cutting machine, and then I grabbed a piece of white Vicki Boutin foundations paper because it holds mixed media really well because it's really thick. And then I've pulled out some Shimmerz paints here, and I'm just going to water them down and just kind of paint them on my layout around that template that I drew for where the middle of my sun will sit. And so I'm just basically painting that on and watering it down more as I go, kind of getting that color activated. And I'm just going to layer this. I'm going to do some splatters with each color, but I'm doing each color separately. And then I'm going to use my heat gun in between to just kind of dry up the layers just a bit, and just dry them kind of enough to where I can add the next color on over top, and it'll kind of have some separation to it and not completely blend. I don't mind if they blend together a little bit, but I want some definition in the colors and kind of give it a marbly effect. So I want to kind of dry it up a little bit in between those layers. So here I'm going in with my second color. I'm using some Inklingz and some Creameez by Shimmerz, and I'll list the colors down below for you too, so you have those colors. But again, I'm just kind of layering this up, layering each of my colors. I'm layering the splatters as well around that sunshine, and this is just going to kind of peek behind my cut file and give my layout some interest and dimension, which I absolutely love. This one here is kind of a more gold color. It's really, really pretty, and it's one of my favorites. This one's called Minor 49er, and I just absolutely love this. It's really, really shimmery and pretty whenever it dries. So I'm just adding a little touch of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and back my cut file, but before I do that, I'm going to pull out my peel and stick toner sheet and run this through my hot laminator. And to do that, I'm going to just place my toner sheet down inside my craft and carrier sheet, and then lay that foil right on top, making sure that the foil, the pretty side of the foil, is up pointing towards me. So while that's running through, I'm going to go ahead and map my photo using some smooth white cardstock, and as you can see, that has come out of my laminator all shimmery and gorgeous. So what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to use that gold foil to back my cut file with on the sun rays. So I'm going to go ahead and back the middle of it first. So I'm just tracing out around my cut file here, and I'm just going to fussy cut that out with some scissors real quick, and then I will adhere that to the middle of my sun using some of the Ultra Bond liquid glue. Now, I have issues with my liquid glue. It clogs up a lot, so all I do is I keep a corsage pin handy, and I just poke the top, and then it works just fine for me again. So just as long as I keep that handy, I usually have to poke it through the first time I use it on a layout, and then it's fine the rest of the time. So just that initial when I get it out from it just sitting. So here you can see that I have the middle of my sun on there. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out these little sunshine rays to back the rest of my file with. So all I'm doing is I've pulled the middle, the negative piece off of my cutting mat to use as kind of a guide or a template. And then I am just placing that on top of my foil, and then leaving just a little bit of an edge whenever I cut it out so that I have somewhere to adhere the glue to the back of the cut file. So I just give it a little bit of an overlay there. As you can see, there's all my shimmery goodness. That's kind of what it's going to look like. And here are all of my little pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and start gluing all of these down. I'm just going to show you one or two of these, and then I will speed this video up so you don't have to watch me glue down each and every one. Apologies for the weird shadows in this. Apparently this was an odd time of the day when the sun was shining kind of weird in my craft room, and I noticed that I have shadows all over my paper there. So there, I fixed it, and it went away now, so we're good. And here I have just pulled out one of the pattern papers from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection that I'm using. This is the Sunkissed collection. And I fussy cut a lot of the florals from the one paper. And then I just used my cutting knife and cutting mat from Olfa to cut out the middles of those. I used my scissors to cut out the main part, and then I just used the cutting mat and cutting blade to cut out all of the centers. It was a little easier for me. Just gonna back my photo again with one of the pattern papers from the collection and just rough up those edges with my edge distressor. And then I'm just gonna place down all of these cute little florals around my photo as my focal point. And I'm just gonna tuck them kind of in and around and behind my photo. And some of these flowers ran off the page, but I cut them out anyways because I knew that I was just gonna tuck them around my photo, so it's gonna look like they're full flowers anyways. So I'm just using my liquid adhesive here again, and then I'm going to fluff those petals and leaves up so it looks like they're 3D or dimensional on my layout. So I'm just kind of tucking them in as I go, kind of building this layout up. Just kind of laying them down and seeing how everything's going to work before I put that glue on there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my photo down now with some easy tear tape because I know this is where I want it to go. It's not going to go anywhere else, and I can still tuck in more flowers around it if I want to. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere down my cut file as well with some easy tear tape. You guys, this stuff is super, super sticky. It is not going anywhere. So when you use that easy tear tape, make sure that that is exactly where you want it to go when you stick it down, because if you pull it back up, it's going to pull your paper with it. But at least you know that it's never going to go anywhere in your album. So we have that reassurance. I'm just bringing out some of these little embellishments, little stickers from this Cocoa Vanilla collection to use. I'm just gonna pop this one up off my page using some of the 3D foam squares. Sometimes I have a hard time pulling the backing off these squares, but if you have fingernails, it's really not an issue. Mine are just kind of shabby right now, so sometimes it's a little difficult for me to pull them off. So here I'm just fluffing up the edges of all my little petals, making them dimensional and giving them some just some texture. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere down my title at this point, which is just going to say "Life is Good." This was super easy this time because I have the sticker left in the sticker pack here that I'm using, and I'm kind of getting down to slim pickings on this this collection. I had to fussy cut all those flowers to use because I really don't have any flowers left from the die cuts. As you can see, that orange flower that's laying there with the leaves on my desk here that's the only flower that I have left from the die cuts. So yeah, I had to make my own. And you know, I find with the Therm products, it's kind of easy to do that because you have stamps, you have dies, you have all these things that you can actually make your own embellishments with. So if you are kind of low in a collection, you can always find ways to make embellishments yourself to go with your layouts, which is just wonderful. I'm just gonna pop this little flower up off my page too to give it some dimension. I try to make that little orange flower work and tuck it in there just to use it up, but it kind of looked funny down there along with the other ones, so I left it out for now. I guess I'll have it for another layout. And then I really want to make that little banner piece work too, so I'm going to actually add it in as well when I finish up with these flowers. So I think I'm going to add it up to the top and just kind of bring in some just some elements to that top left, just to kind of give my layout some balance, because I feel like it's pretty heavy to this one side, so I want to balance that out by putting some things up on that upper left corner too. But I just love how those little sun rays came out. They're so glimmery and pretty. I wish that this video showed the true effect of it up close, and all those colors that foil brings out. It's so pretty. And I love it so much. It's gonna look so pretty. I think I might hang this one up on my wall actually for a little bit because I just really like to look at it. So I'm just adding a couple little wordy bits here. I'm gonna do some journaling. We were at an amusement park that day, and this photo is just of me and my son, and the sun was just kind of peeking through the tree behind us, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring this giant sun into this layout. So kind of went with that whole sunshiny theme and fun, and it was just a beautiful summer day, and he had an absolute blast, so it was really fun. So there, I'm just adding a little cluster here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some Catherine Poehler sequins in here with my sequin tool and that Ultra Bond glue. So I'm just going to kind of make them look like they're scattered around the page in this top corner, and then some more in the bottom right. Again, it's all about balance for me. I like my layouts to have a nice flow to them and kind of balance out. So that's just what I'm doing here. I'm adding them up here, but I'm also going to add them in the bottom right too. So pretty easy. This is a pretty simple layout. If anyone wants to scrap lift it or copy it, feel free to scrap lift any of my layouts. And then to kind of finish this one off, I'm just going to do my date stamp on one of these little stickers here, and I'm just going to tuck it down here by my photo. So easy peasy today. I love how this one came out. I hope you guys did too, and I hope you enjoyed watching this process. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer for you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.